So parents know this feeling all too well when you tell your children to stop gaming and come to the dinner table, and you often hear the refrain, "Just 5 more minutes, please." Now, Telkom brings us creative parenting expert Nikki Bush, who's also the co-author of Tech Savvy Parenting, to give us some insight into this dilemma. And it's something that needs quite a bit of, I think, grey matter to understand. You know, what is that relationship, Nikki, between kids and gaming?
Gaming is instant, Kat. Just like that. The game starts, lots of visual prompts, lots of auditory prompts. It's easy, it's at your fingertips, lots of choice, and many, many levels to get through. So lots of mastery involved. You learn how to get good at the game, you get to another level, and there's a reward at the end of every level.
Okay.
And that's what kids are motivated by, is rewards. And any parent will tell you that star charts when they're little work really well. And what happens in games is that these rewards chop and change all the time. So it's not even predictable. And it's the excitement and fun around all of that.
Okay, so everything you're mentioning right now sounds very positive. So is it possible then to overdo it?
It is, unfortunately, because what happens is, as a child achieves and reaches a level, it stimulates the pleasure center of the brain where a dopamine rush occurs. And that's a little bit like taking addictive drugs. And it gives you the same feeling, that high. And so children will go back for the high again and again. And so when a parent comes through and says, "Dinner time," they might be 20 minutes away from reaching another level. They think that's 5 minutes. But you see, time becomes irrelevant when they're immersed in a game. They lose all sense of time. And it really is a conflict point between parents and children.
If we try and look at the positives out of it, what are the skills that children can learn from gaming?
There really are some great positives that will serve our children well in the future world of work. So apart from the fact that there's eye-hand coordination, there's loads of strategic thinking, problem solving. They have to work out how to get around obstacles. Sometimes they have to have a lot of patience to get from one level to another, because it can take a long, long time. There's also a lot of opportunity for collaboration between players.
Yes.
And that's good. Teamwork is good.
It is. I mean, I think all those skills that you mentioned, especially patience, you know, not always relying on instant gratification right now, is a very, very good one. But what about the potential dangers?
Well, I think that especially in younger children, if it's replacing movement, if children are too sedentary, if they're not having time to play with other children, we have a problem. As children get older, we need to be careful that they don't live in a world in one room where they never get out. You just can't learn everything from a screen. And I have a grade 5 teacher who gave me this little anecdote recently, that she has a child in her class who spends the entire weekend playing Minecraft. Now, Minecraft is a fabulous game that is being used all over the world in classrooms. It teaches amazing stuff, but he has no social life. And when it comes to sharing news on a Monday morning, he has nothing to share. And it's become a problem because he doesn't have a balanced life.
And so I guess, you know, in summary, when you look at it, what is it that that parents should be looking for in terms of an eventual outcome when they're allowing their kids to game?
To me, the end goal for all technology use is that our children become healthy switches between the online and the offline world, between the on-screen and the off-screen world, that they're able to sit and be happy having a conversation with a friend or mum and dad, just as they can be happy in front of a screen.
Okay. Nikki, thank you very much. As always, we appreciate your advice, helping parents out there gain control of what is going on in this new age digital world. And speaking of which, if you'd like to get your internet at home set up, then Telkom is ideally suited to offer you broadband and internet services to cater for your needs. You can visit one of their stores, call them on 10213, or visit their online portal at www.telkom.co.za for more information.
Turn your house into a connected home for only $3.99 per month. From SA's best fixed and mobile broadband network, call 10213 or go to a Telkom shop.